Hello and welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews, and it's album review time. So the other day I reviewed an album that came out a couple of years ago. This one is another one I missed that came out last year, and although I'm really glad I found it because it's superb, I'm a bit annoyed because it makes my 2020 best list, a bit wrong. This is going to happen. Albums I'm going to, come across after the year's out of the way, which is a bit annoying. It makes the list not so true, but it definitely would have made I think I did top 20 albums of 2020. It would have made it without a doubt. Probably, maybe not in the top 10, but it would have been very close. So that's how good all them albums were brilliant in that top 20 albums. So the band is called Sacred Outcry. It's the only album they've had out. It's called Damned for All Time. And the interesting thing about this, a little bit of background on the band, not too much. They're a Greek band and some great music comes out of Greece. They were formed in 1998. So I don't know what happened between 1998 and 2020, but I think they were together quite a long time. Maybe they didn't get a record deal. I don't know. But this album dropped last year. Sorry. Falling into the stupid fucking talk now. This album was released. It wasn't dropped at all. This album was released last year. Like I said, debut album, Damned for All Time. It was recorded between 2015 and 2019. So a long time being recorded still, even though, it's not really 23 years in the making, if you like. But it was still recorded because, there was lots. It was probably the band didn't even write those songs back then. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the full extent of the story of this band, but 2015, 2019 to record it. It's a long time these days to record an album. It was released on September the 25th, 2020. I just want to touch on the album cover art just quickly, and it's outstanding. Now, if you like this review and you like this band and you're going to get the album and they do a vinyl, I don't know. I haven't checked out if they do a vinyl, but I would suggest getting it because you're going to get the true extent of the artwork. Man, it's great. It's great. And you'll be able to see it in this video at the top here somewhere. But, look at it. When you come off of this video, it's great artwork. Absolutely brilliant. So, what do they sound like? So I was thinking about this. There's lots of elements of different stuff. It's power metal, heavy metal, some odd bit of speed metal, but hardly any because I'm not really into speed metal. But little tiny glimpses sometimes, little sections in each song, perhaps of speed metal. If you want to say what they sound like, the bands they sound like, there's elements of Queensryche, but Queensryche are probably a bit heavier most of the time. Crimson Glory, and then you're looking at the more sort of Halloween, and definitely a band called Theocracy, Christian metal band called Theocracy. These are not a Christian band, I don't think, but that's probably one of the closest things they sound to. So what you get is big instrumental parts within songs, loads of acoustic little bits, loads of changes within songs, very epic sounding, keyboards prevalent throughout, but most of the time not running in the background to fill the song and make it feel more epic, if you like. Great backing vocals throughout. It's a really good album, really good sound as well, produced by Steve Lado, and it's got a crystal clear production, and I think this is such an intricate album that you need it. You need to hear every little nuance, if you like. The guitar work is amazing. If you're if you play in a band, you will just fully appreciate the musicianship on this album. It's very technical, but it's not all about that. It's about the melody as well. There's plenty of melody all the way through the songs. There's, this is an album that's a grower as well. You notice the melody straight away, but there's so much more to it over time, over repeated listens. You're going to get so much out of this album. I'm really going to I'm going to attempt these names, and you know how fucking bad I am at attempted names, and these are Greek names. So here we go. Yanis Papadopoulos. Yanis Papadopoulos on vocals. Dimitris Peros on guitar, does all the guitars, lead and rhythm. Well, not all the guitars. Someone else does the acoustic parts, which is Vegalis Spanakris. He does the acoustic guitar parts, but Dimitris Peros does all the other guitars. George Apollodimus on bass, Stelios Dorakis on drums, and John Skalkotos on keys. If this band are watching this, they're gonna like rip me a new arse, I reckon. So, like I said, epic, loads of changes within a song. You know, it varies on the songs as well. Some have got more changes than others because you've got more straightforward stuff. Then you've got more longer sort of epic songs where there's loads of changes and mental, absolutely mad. You know, really good for, like I said, you musicians out there. And if you like melody as well, it's great. So, running through the tracks, starts off with as it should, a little 1.5-minute intro. Thunder and rain going on just to get the atmosphere going, a little acoustic guitar, and that breaks into the second song, Legion of the Fallen, which is a really good song. This is real epic sounding again. And also, just to touch on the lyrics, I haven't obviously looked into them fully, but it's very fantasy based lyrics. To go with the sort of music, it sounds like that sort of epic sort of power metal with like fantasy type lyrics. Very good indeed. So Legion of the Fallen, intricate, huge sound, like throughout this album, backed up by the keyboards. Like I said, usually running in the background, the sort of classical sounds they're getting on the keyboards as well. Melodic and catchy, but it's definitely not the cheese. You know, there's lots of different types of power metal as well. You know, you get the heavier side, you know, your Iced Earth side, and that's some people call that power metal. I know genres are shit, talking about what band is what, falls into what genre and all that, but sometimes Iced Earth can be looked at as power metal, you know. And then you get the other side, which is the more cheesier sort of side. This definitely bows towards the more serious side. I'm not saying they're like Iced Earth musically, but they definitely, you know, veer towards the more serious sounding, not happy power metal, if you know what I mean. This song, Legion of the Fallen, has got, like many songs on this, got long instrumental passages, which are great, you know, which are really intricate and lots of changes going on within those. And the singer, he hits some real heights, you know. He's perfect for this type of metal. He's got a classical trained sounding voice, you know, where he hits some real, both ends of the register. Low end is great, got a great tone, and then he can scream to the heavens as well. Next track, Sacred Outcry. So this is faster with like a double kick drum going on throughout, and it has got double kick drums throughout the album. Riffing is almost like proper metal riffing, you know, that painkiller fast riffing going on this. Excellent heavy groove to this song, and faster songs, as you know when you watch this channel, I'm not usually into those unless they're done right. This is definitely done right. A great solo on this, and that's the same throughout the album. Nice heavy riffing at the 2.5 minute mark, and then twin lead. Man, you get twin lead as well. So obviously, I think Dimitris Peros probably did all the guitar work, so it says when I was reading about it. So he must do all the twin lead stuff as well, which is cool. I love a bit of twin lead, you can't go wrong. So next up, Where Ancient Gods Are Still Held. So this, like many songs to come for the rest of this album, starts with a nice acoustic passage. And you know what? I love, you get some bands that do in the power metal genre, that when they play clean, they just play a clean guitar. You know, they've got no effect, no electric or fuzziness on the guitar. They just play it like a clean electric sound. This has got proper acoustic passages, which make it just so much better and more epic. After about a minute after that acoustic passage, breaks into like another epic sounding song. This song shows a little bit more restraint than others, a sort of softer feel throughout the song. Great riffing, like it is throughout this album. An absolutely good song. That's sort of more of a medium pace song, that Where Ancient Gods Are Still Held. Next track, number 5, is Scared to Cry. Now this changes pace completely. It's a ballad, but it's just acoustic guitar with vocals, with like classical keyboard elements running through it. And obviously you've just got this guy's voice over the acoustic guitar and the keyboards. And it's, you know, you can really hear it. It just, when you get songs like this, it can either be bad for a singer if he's not, you know, that good. It can be a worry that he's just singing without all those instruments behind him, or it can show off his voice. And that's exactly what this song does. It shows off his voice. He's got a great voice. Next up, 6th track, Lonely Man. So you would think this is going to be a ballad. It starts off acoustic again, and a vocal sounds very sort of melancholy and sad. And then just as you think it's going to be a ballad, at the 1:50 mark, it breaks into the fastest song on the album. Probably my least favourite song. This is more across the speed metal, and it's only the only song that really does that, where it makes it a speed metal song throughout after that couple of minutes at the beginning. But musicianship is just the highest order, and these guys are proving that they can play fast as well. You know, it's my least favourite. I don't hate it, but out of all these brilliant songs, it's my least favourite. Next up is a true ballad with power. Kent Scriber, I'm not saying it's a power ballad. I'm just saying it's a ballad with power. Same thing. Anyway, another acoustic passage at the beginning. Sorry, bit of a in-joke, a bit of a private joke there. Sorry about that. Another acoustic passage at the beginning with vocal, and it does that so well. You know, you used to get that, didn't you, with like Dio, for instance. These little bits where he was just a guitar, acoustic or clean guitar, usually with Dio, before he went into the song. I used to love those bits, and that's what you get on it, making it more of an overall epic sound. So you get that ballad acoustic passage at the beginning with the vocal. This is different than the other ballad, as it's builds and builds and builds and builds, you know. And then you got acoustic parts always also breaking it up throughout the song. So that's what this band do. They don't just acoustic at the beginning, then they build it for an electric ballad. They go back, and then they have another instrumental passage and singing. Then they go back again to an acoustic bit. It's great. So excellent guitar melodies throughout this, and cool layered vocal harmonies that are going throughout this album. It's a big sounding album, a really big sounding album. Next up, now this is epic as fuck. So this is Damned for All Time.
Damned, the dawn of time, his fate was sealed, his destiny concealed. The last Monday morning Lord would fight the sword that would destroy the world.
Title track, 14.5 minutes. And you know what, I do like the occasional long song, and this is a brilliant song. This has got, as it should do, at 14.5 minutes, and this sort of band, the way they are, loads of different stuff going on. There's slow parts, there's medium parts, there's fast parts, there's classical elements, you know, to it, using the keyboards again. So many twists and turns. It's got an excellent slow gallop to this, in parts, by the way. When it goes to the sort of more medium sort of pace, it's like a slower gallop to this. Cool progressive part in this song, and they don't really hit upon progressive elements too much. You'd say, if you're talking about, it's definitely not a progressive band. They just, the odd time signature, you know, a little bit in maybe a couple of songs, and that there's a really cool bit in this. That's a cool odd time signature. Amazing vocals in this one, and when I said this guy can sing high, some amazing screams coming out of this. Some of the let's just talk about the bass and the drums as well, man. All the way through the album, but I mean, you can hear the bass rumbling like bottom end in this song. It's absolutely amazing. They've got the perfect mix on this album. The producer, whoever mixed it, I think he mixed it and produced it. This Steve Lado, he's definitely a producer to look out for. I haven't heard of him before. Perhaps he does a lot of other stuff, you know, around the metal community, but man, he's a really good producer, and you can hear, like I said, that bottom end rumbling throughout this song. Amazing song, Damned for All Time. It's probably my favourite song on the album, and I don't usually say that about 14.5-minute songs, because it's got so much melody in this song as well. So many twists and turns that are clever, and they just fit it right. If you do a long song, you've got to do it right. They've done it right. And it leaves a brilliant song to finish with as well, Farewell, which is...
Now the fire burns up high. Reach my hands and touch the sky. The wind still calls my name. Touching the sun to God I bow.
Really heavy again, but not, remember, none of this is extreme metal. It is definitely metal, power metal, you know, melodic stuff. After a heavy sort of an acoustic bit and a heavy bit at the beginning as well, sort of one after the other, it crushes into like a speedy riffing, but like medium paced speedy riffing. Absolutely brilliant. You know, them sort of, and there's nothing like John Sykes, but you know those sort of riffing going on. Again, the bottom end's rumbling throughout this song. The bass is absolutely like hits you. Such an epic closer. You know, it's still like a 7-minute something song. Nothing like Damn for All Time, but I think it's an excellent closer. You know, it's got that, like all these songs have got a real big, epic sort of fantasy type feeling going throughout them, and then it ends on that same sort of thunder rain acoustic passage at the end, like it started. So a perfect ending for the album. And what I liked about this album is it started strong. The middle part were still good, but not my, you know, they were probably my least favourite songs. But then it ended on the biggest high. Probably it was really strong at the end as well. Sometimes albums fade out, don't they? You know, at the end of them, they put the songs that are not so good on the end. This one doesn't. It's just a perfect balance. Check this one out. Sacred Outcry, Damned for All Time. A great album in that sort of power metal type music. If you like that, obviously I'm going to put some, there would be some bits for you to listen to on this video, so you can make your own mind up. Go and check it out on YouTube as well. Another great band to look out for in the future. Amazing. I hope it don't take another 20 fucking years to make an album, but you know, does it sound like it's 20 years? In some ways it does. There's a lot going on. It sounds like there's so much put into this. Don't know the full story why, but an album is great anyway. The album is absolutely superb, so check it out. Anyway, if you want to subscribe, please press the red button, bottom right hand corner.